Am I the butthole for not letting my son claim a box of granola bars? My son, 16, has a favorite kind of granola bars. We always buy him a huge box so they last longer. The issue is, he freaks out if anyone else has one. We never eat the last one, but they're pretty good and it makes for a good snack. He's scared his sister, 14, out of eating any due to his freak out when she dared to eat one. My wife isn't a fan, so she never has one. I refuse to be bullied out of eating one of like 40 granola bars. Yesterday, I grabbed one and my son started on me. Why are you eating my granola bars? I held up a hand and told him they are not your granola bars. You did not buy them. They're for the house and everyone can have some. There's a ton left and I can have one. In the future, if your sister wants one too, she can. He got pissed. My wife told me to just have something else and I said no, leaving to enjoy it. My son apparently wrote his name on the box with Sharpie. I put tape over it and put, our last name, family. My wife says I'm being petty, but I find all of this ridiculous. Am I the butthole? Edit, some FAQs, my son isn't autistic and doesn't have an eating disorder. I said we buy him, but I meant that we buy the box. He primarily eats them, but occasionally my daughter and I want to have one. They're not bought just for him. The granola bars in question are the chocolate chip Kirkland bars from Costco. Not the butthole. If he wants his own box, he's 16. He can pay for his own box. Oh, he's 16? I completely skipped over that part while reading. From his behavior, I was just imagining a petulant 6-year-old child and not a young adult. A petulant 6-year-old child. Please do not insult 6-year-old children. A lot of them have better manners than this. I can confirm this as someone with a 6-year-old, who offers me a granola bar first before taking one for himself. Not the butthole. My 5-year-old got a surprise of M&Ms in our advent calendar. I'd put in 4 for him and 4 for his sister. He opened the drawer, counted them out, and went hooray. 2 each for you, me, Mummy, and Daddy. So sweet. And his math skills are on point too. That would have made me so proud. Big brain and big heart? That kid's going to grow up to be great. My 3-year-old got gummies as a treat for snack time. They were Mario and Paw Patrol gummies. I open them, give them to her, and she looks at me, hands me a gummy and goes, "Daddy, share?" She's bilingual, so here sentences are still a little broken but still sweet. I told my 6-year-old that the little chocolate bit at the bottom of the ice cream cones is my favorite part, so every time she has one she offers me the last bite. I never take it, so she'll hold it up and say to Mommy, before she eats it. I told my kid I ate all her Halloween sweets when she was around 4 to 5, and she said that's okay, Mummy. I hadn't really, but she showed more sharing and caring than this 16-year-old too. That sounded really familiar, like I watched a video on it. Well, I got the idea from that Jimmy Kimmel thing, or the other Jimmy. I'm not American, so not 100%, and it was a while ago. My kid was sweet as pie, but she's never been much of a sweet-toothed kid and has always been a good sharer. She often gives her sweets and treats away to her cousins. I hate that Jimmy Kimmel thing so much. Sure, lie to your kid and simultaneously teach them that 1, nothing they cherish really belongs to them. 2, family is inherently not to be trusted. 3, bad things happen while you sleep. Just awful. I agree. Who the hell thinks this crap is funny? Agreed, it's not funny, it's downright cruel. There's a new one going around on another site at the moment where instead of giving your toddler/young child their dinner, you just hand them an empty plate and wait for their reaction. There's been tantrums, tears and confusion from the little ones, all while you can hear the parents giggling in the background. One little child was saying such things as, "Where's my dinner, Mummy? Where is it? I don't know where it is." In the most sorrowful, placid tone before quite literally shaking off his sadness as he was about to cry and saying, "It's okay, Mummy." It just felt so hard to watch. Kids shouldn't be used as entertainment props for strangers on the internet. Jimmy Kimmel, an unfunny waste of space they used to fill a late-night TV slot. My ex-sister-in-law once did the one where you give your kids some crafty thing like a potato and tell them it's their only Christmas gift. She's raised her kids to be very materialistic, so 2 of them had complete meltdowns. She posted it to YouTube and tagged Jimmy Kimmel hoping it would get on the show. I felt so gross after watching and sad for the kids. The oldest was 11. Of course they'd get emotional. It was so cruel and it's public and searchable. Now they're all young adults and I wonder how this will affect them getting jobs, their relationships, etc. Who would enjoy watching their kids get upset and cry? Also, I don't know that children who were stoic or inwardly disappointed should be praised over children who got emotional. I agree. Way to teach your kids that they're just a chew toy for the latest TV bullcrap humor craze. Don't forget 4. Adults upset you just for the laughs. 4. Adults upset you just for the laughs. Isn't that bullying? That's how I feel when I watch parents upsetting their children just for a laugh. Straight up bullying. Am I the only one who feels like this? Thank you, I've never been able to articulate why I hated that bit. Same. My parents actually ate my candy once. They grounded me from it. 3 days later it was all gone. I was like 10 or 11 at the time. They never replaced it either. Buttholes. I had a stepdad who would round up our candy under the guise of rationing it so my brother wouldn't eat it all, except he was the one who helped himself. Why did you do that? My 6-year-old makes sure her little sister is well fed. The idea of snacking without her sister doesn't even occur to her. My 5-year-old will make his 2-year-old brother a bowl of cereal first before making his own. It's adorable as all hell. Edited cause the dumb thing posted before I finished typing. This is so adorable and sweet. You both are being amazing parents and raising some great kids. Reading stuff like this warms my child-free heart and gives so much hope for the next generation. My 17-month-old will offer me food, too. Granted, most of the time he's already chewed on it. Ah yes, the days of half-chewed teething cookies/biscuits. Children can be really wholesome sometimes. I was once in a hospital, and there was a kid who saw my suffering. After the procedure I had, he offered me his chocolate to make me feel better and I really appreciated it. It was truly one of the most wholesome moments. I can also confirm this. My 6-year-old nephew always offers me a gummy bear before having one himself. I mean, my cats will occasionally bring me a couple treats that were for them into my bed. I mean, I can't eat them, but they are better at sharing than Op's son. And they're cats. I gave my 7-year-old cat some tuna, his favorite, and the 1-year-old puppy whined for some. This cat, who is usually an absolute jerk, nudged his food to the floor and gave it to the puppy and purred. Edit. This little jerk also feeds the dog my pencils and stuffed toys when puppy looks at my desk. He is great at sharing. My son will always grab the full box of snacks to make sure his sister gets one. If we ask, he'll give us one too. As someone who knows a 6-year-old, can confirm she has much better manners than this. I've got a 4-year-old who just offered me a bag of her goldfish from the box that she actively is told belongs to her, all because she likes to share. Pretty sure Op's kid is just being selfish. And even those that don't, have the excuse of actually being 6. I used to go and ask everyone at home if they will have a piece of my chocolate at 6. This is just crazy. A 16-year-old who lives with his parents and is provided by them is getting angry because someone occasionally eats his snack. 3-year-olds also know how to share. Yes, my 6-year-old niece might get annoyed when I take some of her snacks sometimes, but you better believe that she's also the person who gives me her snacks. My kid's 3. She shares with her sisters. My 2-year-old has better manners. She shares everything. Even if I don't want to share it. Considering how the other parent here is behaving, it's no wonder he's acting like this. These kinds of behaviors don't appear out of nowhere. Well, this isn't the first time this kid has behaved like this. It's been reinforced enough that the sister is afraid to have one. Everyone sucks here, except the daughter. This should have been dealt with the first time without buying him a bigger box that he thinks is his own. Teens can get like this, especially because they are starting to be independent, but aren't yet. My younger daughter pulls this every so often. I remember my sister being the same way. I think dad is handling it correctly and mom needs to back him up, but it's not necessarily due to anything anyone has done wrong, per se. Agree, sometimes people on here go way over the top. So many posts about how awful and selfish this kid is. He's a teenager, and he's fixated on these one particular granola bars at the moment. Dad didn't say this extends to anything else or any other food/items. Kids, adults, everyone sometimes does weird things as a response to stress or a whole variety of causes. I think Dad is doing the right thing, calmly refusing to bend and continuing to take a bar when he wants one without making it into a huge deal, and not intentionally antagonizing him either. Eventually he will stop fixating on this one thing. If it starts spreading to other things or areas of his life, then I'd be concerned. All of us go through some things and some strange behavior at times, even the most well-adjusted of us. Give the boy a break and just keep reinforcing that there's plenty of granola bars for everyone to have, and if they run out, the Costco has more. 16-year-olds can be pretty selfish because 16-year-old brain. I was an immensely selfish kid when the fancy struck me. That's why we have parents. Sounds a little too much like boys will be boys to me. This kid will be old enough to get married and join the military in less than 2 years. He needs to drink a sippy cup of grow the hell up juice and learn to share. Okay, but when did we decide we were adults at 18? Like, your brain isn't developed until 24, and the second you turn 18 it's throw you into the pool, swim or drown. I'm a 16-year-old and being an adult in 2 years terrifies me. We should implement a system where you gradually get all the adult responsibilities and privileges. I missed that as well. I assumed 10-ish. But 16, he can buy his own. At least I know when I was 16 I was able to buy some small things. Not the butthole. Tell him the next time he throws a fit about him, you will no longer share your bars with him. He'll only get them if he buys them himself. I agree, in that situation original poster isn't the butthole to the son. But original poster should have not let his 16-year-old kid bully his 14-year-old kid into not eating food provided to the house. Original poster even says he won't be bullied into doing what the son wants. Seems like you're the butthole in that situation for not defending his daughter from bullying. Well, I mean, this is what he's trying to do by telling his son that he can't stop original poster or his sister from eating granola bars purchased for the family. This also, why is your wife raising an entitled teen? No one will appreciate his bratty behavior in the real world. This is just as much your wife's fault as the teens. Not the butthole. Not the butthole. This is a pivotal moment for your son. Your son needs to learn to share. He's lacking gratitude and showing no understanding for the fact that food costs money and whoever buys it owns it. Don't let this one go. Hammer this lesson home and he'll be a better son, brother, roommate, significant other, friend, etc. in the future because of it. He should have learned this a long time ago. He's 16, not 3. Of course he should have. And he probably did. But 16-year-old boys kind of revert to the worst, most selfish versions of themselves as they are consumed with their social lives and thinking they know everything. It's a good time for some basic refreshers on how to be a good human. 16 is the worst age. Boys and girls alike. It's like we all become legitimately insane. You couldn't pay me to be 16 again. Exactly. Except instead of realizing you're kind of insane, you are convinced everyone who isn't 16 is out of their damn minds. I compare teenagers to 2-year-olds. This difference is you can't easily pick up and move a teenager. Between hormones, trying to be independent, be an adult and yet a child at the same time, they do become bonkers. I remember adults telling me my teens were the best time of my life. It gave me no hope for the future. Fortunately, it got much better. Yeah, man, why do people say that? I used to think maybe somehow my teen years were worse than most, but now I think maybe the people saying that messed up the adult portion of their lives. I think they confuse best years of your life with the last few years where you are not expected to provide for yourself. Yes, that's the answer. I've never understood it either. I mean, sure, there were some great moments in my teen years. Also some terrible ones. But I'm pretty sure you're doing this whole life thing wrong if your teen years are the best your life ever got. We're not your novel characters or something. 30 is not bad at all, it's way better than 16 ever was. It's the age where you think you know everything when you actually know next to nothing. It's insane how vividly I remember just knowing that I had it all right, and that I knew what I was doing. At 16, I was so damn sure that I was special, that I had life figured out, and that all the adults around me were idiots. I never felt more grown up than between 16 to 18. You suddenly have this adult brain with all its great capacities, but zero actual life experiences to test it against. Gives you delusions of grandeur. Until real life hits you and you realize, most of us at least, things are a lot harder and more complicated than you thought. Yes. Especially in today's internet age, where you can get sucked into a hate hole and feel entitled to everything. Hello, rise of incel culture. 16 to 18 is not a child, but not an adult yet, either, and really needs guidance. Yes, but original poster made no mention of time travel abilities, so he needs to go from here. Considering how many people give advice based on the assumption that the person does have time travel abilities, it must be much more common that the government wants you to believe all of this. I also have a 16-year-old. If she wants a special snack but not share, she buys it herself and keeps it stashed in her room. She knows anything in the pantry or fridge is fair game unless she paid for it. When she takes my car to shop for meals she's making, she always makes enough for the household, leftovers, and taking some to my grandma a couple blocks away. We always thank her, but her response is, "You paid for the groceries, kitchen supplies, and electricity." I just put it together. Op's son is in for a tough time when he has roommates or significant other. Not the butthole. Your daughter sounds like a wonderful person, heart. Congratulations on your good parenting. It's not about sharing. He didn't buy a box of granola bars and should let other people have them to be part of a community. Someone else bought a box of granola bars, for the family, and he's decided that he's going to have all of them. That's not sharing, that's not being a greedy entitled pig. Yes, take care of this now. Don't let him turn out like my father. I can still remember the time when I was about 12, and I asked my mom if it was okay if I could use a lemonade flavor packet for my water. My dad came barreling into the living room shouting, "Those are my lemonade packets, mine, mine, and mine. I bought them, they're mine." All the respect that my brother and I had towards my father as a functioning adult disappeared in that moment, and since that day, we thought of him as a giant baby. It stemmed from his family being poor when he was young and not having his own stuff or room, but my brother and I experienced a somewhat similar early childhood, and we were never so set on not sharing with each other. Your son should go work at a fast food restaurant or grocery store and earn his own money if he wants to be so possessive of them. Maybe then, he'll come to appreciate the effort that goes into getting the money that you bought those granola bars with. Thankfully, I had an example of an adult who didn't mind sharing, my mom, and so my brother and I never developed such a selfish personality. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube and share them with your friends. We welcome your comments below. Press to start another of our videos.